Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coverings 19. What a great place to be, right? I want to introduce this team up here. This is the National Tile Contractors Association Training and Technical Department. We've got most of us up here right now. We've got a great training team, a great technical department, and if you're not familiar with the NTCA, you want to get familiar with us at this show. It's right over there on the other side of that wall. Stop by and see us. So first of all, we have Randy Fleming. Raise your hand, Randy. We have Becky Serban right here. We have Rob Roderick, and we have Stephanie Samolsky right here. And these people will be tile setters and helpers today. And I'm Mark Heinlein. I'm the training director for the NTCA. So thanks for coming. Today, we're going to talk about setting some tile on a vertical substrate that's right behind us. We have two teams that'll be doing a little bit of a competition, and they're going to be setting tile, some wall tile with this stuff right here in place, some wash wall lighting. So what's going to happen, we'll see how well they do, and then we'll turn those lights on at the end, and we're going to ask our stage manager to dim the lights when we're all done. I'll let you know, I'll give you the cue, we're good for right now, but at the end, when we've all set, we'll dim the lights and we'll see how well these guys set. So guys, what I want you to do is get to work. So I'm the role of the job site supervisor, and this is an important job that needs to get done, it needs to get accomplished. And so what's going on here? They're dampening their substrate because the substrate can be thirsty, and we've got some properly mixed thin set. We don't want that thirsty substrate to be robbing the hydration from our properly mixed thin set. That's what they're doing here to make sure that doesn't happen. And the other thing that does is it gives it a little bit of cleaning at the end to make sure that we don't have any dust or dirt or bond breakers in there. It's a very important thing to accomplish. Takes just a few minutes. What this guy's doing over here, he's using this device right here. Rob, could I borrow that? Are you done using that, sir? Okay. Everybody, what this is a 10-foot straight edge, all right? And Rob was using that to make sure that his substrate flatness was in tolerance within industry standards. Where do we get those industry standards? We get them out of this book right here. This is ANSI A108 and A118, and it tells us that for this type of tile, they're working with a 4x12 wall tile. So for that wall tile, we need 1/4 of an inch in 10 feet minimum flatness. So that's what Rob was checking. He did a great job at checking that. Today, we're talking about this book. This is the NTCA reference manual. As you're with us this week, coming back and forth to all of our demos that we'll be doing on this stage, we'll be using the guidelines, the information, the tried and true learned experience and wisdom of the NTCA for 50, 60, 70 years that's found in this book. This tells us a lot of things that are found in our standards and our best practices, but it talks about problems that can and sometimes do happen in the industry, happen on jobs, and could create failures. And in particular today, we're talking about wash wall lighting, right? So that's what we have installed. There's an entire section here in our NTCA reference manual that talks about wall wash lighting, wash wall lighting, graze lighting, whatever term that you'd like to use. So we're following that book today, and let me take a look and explain to you what's going on here. Okay, so you can see that they've keyed in the mortar to their substrate, right? That's a critical step. First of all, they want to drive that properly mixed mortar into their substrate to make sure we get a really good bond into all the pores. Now what they're using is they're using their notch trowel to gauge it on. Over here on this side, Randy's already got his mortar keyed in. Now he's gauging it on with his notch trowel. We did a little test before we did this to make sure that we're using the right size trowel for the job today. And they've selected this 1/4 by 3/8 trowel to do that. That's what they're doing right now. Pretty soon, they'll start setting their tile. You can see Randy is doing that. He's got a center line there. They're going to be doing a 50% offset pattern. For this size of tile, which is a 4x14 tile, a 50% offset pattern is fine. It's totally recommended. Now, once we get up into a larger size tile, a tile that's maybe 15 inches or longer, we recommend a 33% offset maximum. And the purpose of that is to divide up the tile a little more frequently. And what that does is it takes tile that's been manufactured to another one of our standards. That standard is called ANSI A137.1. So it takes that A137.1 tile and it divides up the grout joints. That way, when you have a little bit of allowable warpage or actual warpage that's part of the manufacturing process of tile, it takes that warpage and it shifts the high spot away from the low spot, and we don't get so much lippage, right? So that's a very important thing to follow. But for the smaller tile that meets the industry standards, we can do a 50% offset. And that's what these guys are doing. Now, these are very skilled installers here. This is the NTCA training team and technical department. They are just excellent, highly experienced people. We're going to watch what they do, watch with me, and let's see how they go. I'm going to explain the action just a little bit. All right, what's going on here is Rob has troweled on his side. He's troweled these straight lines vertically. And what he's done is he's made those lines parallel with the short edge of his tile. So when you can see Rob setting the tile, you'll notice that he pushes it in to the mortar, then he shifts it to the left, he shifts it to the right, and then he brings it back to where it needs to be. And what that's doing is it's collapsing the ridges under the tile, okay? And it's allowing the air to escape in its shortest path to get out from underneath the tile. That way we get the bond coat coverage that we need. In a dry area, we're going to call this a dry area, the standard tells us we need 80% coverage. In a wet area, does anybody know the coverage we need? Raise your hand. 95%, right, sir? 95% in a wet area. So they're using the proper material, the proper technique, doing everything correctly on that side. Let me check on this side and see how they're doing. All right, they're moving right along. Becky and Randy are setting their tile with the same approach. They're pressing it into the substrate, shifting it side to side. And you can see Randy's helper, Becky, she's coming behind him and placing the spacers to make sure that we get a great looking 1/8" grout joint that was called for in this application. It's gonna look great, right? Boy, these guys are moving right along. Okay. How are we going over here? You know what? I think we've got a bit of a competition going on. Can I hear it from this side of the house? Let's cheer on Rob and Stephanie. Let's hear it. Come on, everybody. Come on. All right, you guys. Let's hear it for Randy and Becky. Come on. Come on. Give it up for Randy and Becky. Come on, guys. Let's get this done. We've got to keep this moving because you know what? The plumbers are coming in tomorrow to install the fixtures. The cabinet's got to be in tomorrow. What are you guys waiting for? Get this stuff on the wall. Stephanie, come on. We keep moving, will ya? Where did we get her from anyway? Wow. Guys, are you getting this slapped up here yet, Randy?
It's going.
All right, because we've got to get this done. You know how it is on a job site? It is hectic. It is busy. We can't mess around. We can't waste time. We got to get that wall tile slapped up, the floor tile slapped in, so everybody else can get in here and do their job because, hey, we're only the tile contractor, right? We're just the finished surface, which is very important, by the way, right? We rely on everything that's underneath. That entire substrate has to be correct. The structure has to be correct. The substrate has to be flat, like we talked about. If it's not flat, somebody has to make it flat. Somebody has to be paid for time and materials to make that substrate flat before we start. That's what this tool is all about, to check for flatness. If that substrate isn't flat before we start tiling, then we need to stop and talk about it with the owner, with the general contractor, with everybody involved, and make sure that the trade involved, the trade responsible for making it flat, makes it flat. Now, if we're the tile contractor and we come in and that substrate isn't flat, and we start tiling on it, guess what? We own it. No matter what, once we start tiling on that substrate, we own it. We just bought it. So that's what these guys have done. They know they're under the gun. Get to work, guys. You got less than 3 courses up. You know what? I'm going to give you 2 more minutes to finish this job. Keep moving. Slap it up. We got to get going. We got to get it on. Let's hear it. Cheer them on. Get going, guys. Over here. Get your team moving. We got to have something done by the end of the day. Rob and Randy, how are your teams doing? Excellent. All right, excellent, they say. Got a pretty good team over here. That, yeah? Okay, they're going in over here, but I'm going to tell you, we're not going to meet our schedule, guys. You better get moving a bit faster. We got to be off this stage in just a few minutes. And our plumber's coming in next. They're doing a great job, actually. I want to point out this ledger material. We've used this ledger material down here. I want to tell you a little bit about some of the products that we're using. This is a self-adhesive material. Works great. If you're in a waterproof area, you can apply it and it doesn't damage the waterproofing. I want to tell you about this device. If you're a tile contractor and you don't have one of these in your toolkit, you need to get one today, because this is how you determine whether your substrate meets the tile industry standards for flatness that you have to follow to make sure that you get a great installation. So see some of our tool manufacturers to talk to them about these, to talk to them about these things here. Make sure that you check out our tool manufacturers to ensure that you get the right trowels for the job. If you only have, one trowel in your toolkit, you might want to take a look at some of the other more modern, newer types of trowels that are available to you. Check out those tool manufacturers today and take some home with you. Try them out on your next tile job. You'll be glad, right? All right, guys, I'm going to give you 1 more minute, and then we're going to take a look at what you've got. Give me something to check over here on this end, guys. Come on, let's go. Slap it up there. We don't have time to waste. We got to get this job done. How's everything going over here?
Going good.
All right. Okay. All right. One more cheer for these guys, because I think they're doing good. Come on, everybody on this side. Help me out. Help me out. You guys got a bigger job. Help me out. They need help. Come on. Come on. All right. Okay. 30 more seconds. We're going to take a look. They're being perfect. It's going to be great. Looking good, guys. Looking good. Okay, I'm going to let you space out that one last row. Then we're going to do a quick inspection. These guys are cleaning up already. They're really fast. All right. That's right. You got to finish on time. Okay, you done? All right, time. That's it. Let's go. Time's up. Yep. Stand over here, everybody. We're going to take a look at this wall right here.
Check that one out.
We're going to check out this one. So, could you please dim the lights, sir? Thank you. Now, everybody, can you see this wall that these guys finished? Looks nice, right? They did a really good job. They were like lickety-split right on it, got it installed. So, Randy, our architect, our designer, our owner, they wanted that washed wall lighting on this wall to make it look beautiful when all was said and done. So, Randy, could you please turn on the lights for us, sir? Oh, we don't have power to our plug-in. That could be a problem. We're going to go check about power. We thought we had power. That's the whole show, is turn on the lights. So you saw how they came in here, right? They started tiling immediately like they were supposed to. Over here on this side, what did Rob do? Rob grabbed this straight edge. So here, now we've got power. Okay. These guys went to work. Can you see from where you're sitting how this looks, everybody? Do you see any issues with this wall? Yeah. Yeah, I got a thumbs up on the wall. I'm sorry, it's 2 thumbs down. So what we're seeing right here, guys, I want you to come out and take a look. Come on over here if you would.
What are you talking about?
So
I've done this for 40 years.
you've been doing this for 40 years, right?
That's how I always do it.
So do you own one of those 10-foot straight edges?
don't.
You don't own one of those.
I don't need it.
Well, you don't need
Check
it.
the wall.
You checked it.
It was fine.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm here to tell you, sir, you've got to use this straight edge on your wall. I saw Rob do this, and if I'm lining this up, this wall is like all over the road map. I've got a 1/2-inch dip in the middle. I've got high spots and low spots that are well outside the tile industry standards. And on any installation, that would be unflat for this type of or tile or any other tile. Looked kind of good when the lights are off. Turn the lights off one more time. Looks kind of good from where you're sitting, right? Turn those lights on again, Becky. Look at those shadows. Just terrible. Now, I travel all over the United States, and I check this sort of things out all the time at places I stay, and it makes me feel bad when I see those things. So I want you on your next jobs to make sure that you make that substrate flat and that you get it installed properly. We don't want that wall wash lighting to have those shadows light up. Guys, you're done. Let's turn on the lights over here, see how they're doing. Lights are coming on. How's it looking from your seats back there? Does it look better than this side? 2 thumbs up, right? They did a great job because what did they do? They came in and they checked their substrate for flatness first, and it looked nice and flat. It met the industry standards, and they got it installed right away. Does anybody have any questions for us? Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pay attention to all of your wall lighting jobs with wash wall lighting, and I want you to make sure that you pay attention to that lighting, whether it's installed yet or not. If it's not yet installed and you're looking at the prints and it looks like there will be lights installed, talk to the owner, talk to the architect, talk to the designer, have them moved out from the wall a bit. That will still give it a dramatic look, but it'll dampen the effect. It'll still look great. Pay attention, make your substrates flat, do everything right, and come back and see us later today, all week, and stop over at the NTCA booth right next door to learn how you can get your NTCA reference manual. Thank you very much. Give it up for our team, everybody. Great job, guys. Wonderful. All right, we'll see you soon. Thank you.